So Vergil Ortiz versus, oh boy, versus Israil Madrimov. So, guys, this fight really doesn't give me a lot of stuff to talk about. At the end of the day, I'm just going to skip through this one because, like I said before, if there is truth about the bronchitis and such, then who knows? All we know is Vergil Ortiz is 5'10", 153, 26 years old, 22-0. Madrimov is 4 years older than him, 5'8.5", and around 152. It doesn't matter, and I looked at this fight being an easy win for Ortiz. He's in black trunks. Madrimov is in white trunks. He outboxes him in this fight, and even though in some of the first round Madrimov was putting in an interesting work on him in this fight, and even though Madrimov got the first interesting rounds in the fight differently, in my opinion, because there were times that Madrimov was outboxing him a little bit in this fight, and then Ortiz would get stuff back from him. Because there were moments in this fight that seemed really interesting enough, like from round 1 and round 2 and round 3. And then in round 4, it was Vergil Ortiz coming out of nowhere, making a wild turn of events. He started finding his rhythm in round 4, and I did see nothing wrong with Madrimov in the fight. It seemed like he was doing an okay job. I don't know if his illness was that bad. I'm surprised that he still managed to do an okay job winning some of the rounds in the fights, and then he would win later rounds in the fight. Like, there were moments that he might have won, like he did won probably... I did thought that he might have won round 8 and probably round 11, but of course, around the time, there were some rounds that looked like Vergil was outboxing him. There were times in round 7 and round 8 that he was doing an amazing job, even though there's sometimes that Madrimov would try to wrestle him. Like one time in round 8 that he was stuck to the corner of the rope and he did a 180 and started trying to push Vergil to the ropes at one point, and the referee gave him a warning not to do that. Or even in round 12 or round 9, like there were some times in the fights that seemed like that there was still a lot of domination, because Vergil was completely dominating him in round 4, round 6. He even demolished him in round 9, 10, and 12. Like, he had a handful of rounds that were completely demolished rounds on him. And it seemed like it was a pretty surprising turn of events. And it was surprising. Of course, by round 10, just seeing how Vergil was putting out a lot of work in the fight, and then in round 11, like I said before, the last 30 seconds of the fight looked like Madrimov might have won the round because he was out throwing interesting punches in him in the last 30 seconds of the fight, and that's why I thought there were moments he might have won. And then in the 12th and final round, it was just... it's hard for me to talk about it because, like I said before, there were times that Madrimov was getting tired. There were some times there were clinches and moments in the fight. But he was putting in an interesting close work at the time in the fight. But at the end of the day, if I wanted to talk about this fight, this will be a long episode because I'm already trying to do a 2-part podcast right now. Part 1 is this entire show, and part 2 are other things that don't have to do anything about the show. So it's just crazy. Because even though I really can't say much about it, but yeah, I had the fight 115 to 113, giving round 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 12 for Vergil Ortiz to win. And 2 judges had the similar way. I think they had an announcer judge at the time giving it 116 to 112. Someone said they had it 115 to 113. One judge had it 117 to 111. And your favor by WBC interim world super welterweight champion, Vergil. And that's all it says. All in all, nothing much to say about this fight.